Cool. Setting.
Best wishes to your wife.
Thank you. I need to plug my application window. There you go. And on the entire screen. How's that?
So for the test case you want to do, that is, you have this data visualization, the population pyramid.
Yep.
And I would suggest to write some kind of test that you can click on the data visualization, and then something happens, like it sends a request, for example. It sends a request to the backend. That would be the feature of telling your approximate age or your age group and your gender to the system.
Yeah.
No?
So
I mean, that was the original idea. Sometimes you start to develop it and on you think, well, this is too complex, or this is something that you don't understand. Maybe some buttons next to the chart would do it as well. That's something we still have to explore and decide on.
Exactly. And also as well with I was having a look at the Epic 318 today on issues, and so I was kind of using that as a base. Like as a user, I want to click on the slice of the population pyramid to which I belong, so I can add my approximate age and gender. And then like I was looking at some of the things that could be considered tests, like it should show the German population pyramid as a chart, you know? So I was trying to start with that, but I don't know if that's
yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. However, I wouldn't recommend. So I think those full stack tests for data visualizations, they are rather unreliable, because what you can do, probably you can still find remains of that in the code. You can find something to download the SVG file and then compare the downloaded SVG file with something you know should be the result, like comparing those SVGs. But in the past, this always was kind of unreliable, because as soon as something changed, for example, an update to the high charts plugin would break the test, because there will be slight changes and the test will fail.
Okay.
But I think high charts itself is tested sufficiently. What I would test is that if you send a request to the backend, and you have this and that data in the backend, you get the right result, like the JSON.
But the thing is that what we did on Sunday was just implement that there's a chart that's on the visualized demography page, but it's not. You can't click on any of the slices. It's not interactive, is it?
No, it's not.
So you're saying write the test, and then you're gonna have to then it's like test-driven development, because I'll need to actually implement the interactivity for it to actually work.
Yeah. So for the for the interactivity, I would write the test, but keep the test small and don't use a full stack test.
Okay.
And I would definitely test the backend. So 2 tests, let's say.
Okay. These are, so this is like would be a unit test that you're talking about?
On this testing pyramid that I just showed you the last time.
Yeah. I had
the full stack will be the very top.
Yeah.
And on the left side, just below that, is the acceptance test.
Yeah.
So it's confusing. It's confusing, really. Like the definition, what is an acceptance test, what is an end test, and what is a full stack test, they are basically all the same. So on this pyramid, I call it full stack test because full stack really tests the full stack. And acceptance test, which actually describes that a feature is accepted or acceptable because it has this basic functionality. It doesn't really describe how the test is implemented or which parts of the code are on the test, right? But if you check out the Ember guides, then acceptance tests kind of relate to the browser tests, the full stack test, but just Ember. So this is why I call them acceptance tests.
Yeah, so like I have here open some of the acceptance tests that have already been written for the Rundfunk.
Yeah, those are good examples to copy paste from.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually like I was having a play around. I already deleted it, you know, but I created a acceptance so I don't know if I don't know if it's a good idea to do this or not, but what I did was how was it? It's Ember generate acceptance test demography, for example.
Yes, I would even prefix it visualize / demography. That corresponds to the directory layout.
Okay, so that's right. So yeah, I need to. Every time I open a new window, I need to use 2.4.1. I know there's a way to set it per directory, but I haven't actually done that yet. But yeah,
that will be gone as soon as you use Docker.
Yeah. See, there we go. Same thing.
And most of your dependency problems will be solved as soon as the Dockerized version is ready.
That's using 2.4.1. Node modules appear empty.
Yeah, because you're in the root folder. You should switch to the frontend folder.
Okay.
So you can say Ember G acceptance and then call it visualize demography.
There we go. So now I have a test acceptance, visualize.
There it is.
No, where is it? Visualize demography. There we go. So this starts off. See, this is the thing. Like it was different from the Ember's guide because I haven't seen anything about this Mocha, you know. But it's pretty similar to this describe, and it is pretty similar to like RSpec, right?
Yes. And guess why I've chosen Mocha?
Yeah. And then this chai as well. This expect is very similar to RSpec as well, right?
Yeah, there are different flavors of how to write tests and how to write your expectations. And I prefer the RSpec syntax. Expect thing on the test to equal something you like an assertion.
Yeah.
And the two others are blah 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 should be like something.
Yeah.
And the unit test style from the 90s, assert equal and then 2 parameters or something.
Yeah, that's what I did. The Ember's guys was using a lot of this assert, where you passed in like this function, you passed in assert here, and then assert dot equal or assert dot okay. But I mean, it's all pretty similar, right?
Yeah, I just think it reads nicer. I mean, look at line 21. Expect current L to equal visualize demography. You could just read it like an English sentence.
Yeah, exactly. That helps.
I like that.
I've seen this shoulda matchers. My friend was showing me. It's kind of nice as well. But that's
It's the alternative to the expect syntax. You would then say current URL should equal blah blah blah.
Yeah. So if I run just this test, so I was running the test with this here, but this is going to run all the tests, right?
Yeah. So T means just test, and S is short for minus server. Yeah. And it opens it runs a test server, and then you can run the test by opening a browser and visiting localhost port 73457.
Yeah, like when I run this, it opens actually a browser for me, but then
sufficiently enough.
And then but it was different. Like when I was some reason this the browser has a different interface than it did when I was using the same there we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to do it manually.
Oh yeah.
And you can see the acceptance test even in this small preview window in the right.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I can change to, so I come here to visualize the demography, and then I think it'll run all the tests again. Oh no, then it runs that test. So this passes. All right, cool. So I was failing earlier.
Yeah, check for something.
I think it's because I didn't put. Sorry?
Yeah, it just checks that if you visit the URL. I mean, can you show me the? So it does. So from the test case starts on line 17.
Yeah.
It says visit visualize demography, and then it checks whether the URL equals demography. That's it, and it does.
So
you can. Hello? The sound has.
No, the thing I was asking here, I was trying to write like a test earlier where it's something like, I don't know, I was using should, but it has.
Yeah, for the description, I would never use should. Why? It is an expectation. It does not. It is. It. You want it to do it. You don't want it that it should do it. It does it. So it has an element with blah blah blah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's even worth writing a test for that. I think you
has an element with class charts. Yeah, why not? Or yeah, sure.
Or it has a chart, even. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, because I mean, if I wanted to, for example, because if I go to the actual the page, I can see there that I have a like a header 2 with or header 1, whatever, that says German population chart. So like I can test like whatever this says, it has a chart, and then I have the function, and then no, page down. And then I can visit the. I still need to visit the. Actually, I'm gonna just take this. I don't need to await anything. I just visit that, and then I have the return.
Which is basically just that. Like it waits until the web pages has loaded.
So this is like a promise, yeah?
I'm not quite sure what return and then actually does, but it has to do with synchronization, that the web page is actually visible when. So otherwise it might run asynchronously. That means it could check the assertion before the action has happened. So this will wait until you've visited visualized demography.
I don't know how exactly to do this with this syntax, but yeah, you can't have something like this, like
almost. Yeah, it looks very good. So
but you don't use this too. You don't use this here, no?
Yeah, exactly. You can say have text.
Ah.
You find the documentation for this online, and it's shy assertions. First of all, let's check if that actually if that already works. Run the test. Save
Okay.
the file, run the test, or wait until the.
Okay, so let's exit out of that. And then...
No, you can leave it. It will automatically reload the code.
Yeah, that's why when you save it, it should run the test. Oh, because I haven't saved it. That's why. Yeah, so then it has to build again, and it takes time. Yeah.
Yeah, when it will reload your test. So if you save your tests, it will reload the test in the browser.
So this here, this expect current page is the syntax is okay with that for using this?
I'm not quite sure. We will see.
Yeah. that's no.
There you go. Current page is not defined.
Yeah.
So what is current page?
So can we pass in current page here?
Yeah. No. So this param, you will need that for this is something special. We'll come to that later. This function can have a param, but this will be used if you want to ensure that something was called.
Okay.
Anyhow, that doesn't matter for now.
So I need to define a method called current page and grab the page.
I'm pretty sure we have that in the other tests. For example, individualize /geo/ whatever.
Here. So maybe you
current page. Not quite. So say preferred language test.
What about I mean, could I? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Could I do just something like instead just do this?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
So the thing that you put into expect is the subject under test. So if you would do this, then you would test if the string has a text, German population chart.
Okay.
That's not what you want. You want to have the content of the entire page after you visited the URL visualized demography.
Yeah. So where did you say?
I'm pretty sure you have it in the test preferred language test.
I can do
2 lines below demography test. Yeah. So there's a German and an English description. Decide on your own which brokers you want to support. Same thing in German. And this will be later used as the expected string. Now scroll down until you find it where this is actually used. You can also search for it as you wish.
Fall back in English.
There you go. This is how you can use it. So there is find. Find expects a
.text.trim to have string.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just use just that.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab this here and copy it in here and paste it here. Expect find dot Class of what?
This is the wrong case. You're editing the wrong test case.
Am I?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I can just move this down. Okay, so we have a class.
You could wrap it in an element and give it a class, or you can check the website how it looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to check the website.
And I'm pretty sure you can pass a class to dynamic height charts.
Yeah, inside here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. But it has a we'll just use class for now.
But the thing is that yeah, okay. But here what's the syntax with the semicolon?
No. Equal sign.
I know.
Yeah. Just strings, single or double quotes. It doesn't really matter. I usually use single quotes. I don't know why.
So this would be dynamic height charts. This is gender.
Yeah, and I think in JavaScript world we use camel case. Or no. You are actually right. Class names are hyphenated.
Demography chart, no?
Yeah, it looks great. Now double check if it actually has this class if you run it in your browser.
Okay. So
Which would be
copy that, save that. Yeah. So then here, server. And come here. This is a simple project I'm doing, but it's not collapsing. This Rails project.
4,200.
Oh, yeah. Jekyll is 4,000. Visualization, demographic, and inspect element, class Ember application.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
And there's even height charts wrapper. You could even use height charts wrapper, which seems to be the default.
And then I can take off the gender demography chart.
Yeah, less is more.
Yeah, exactly right. So here we're gonna do height charts wrapper. Save that. Then we're gonna come here and we're gonna get rid of this. Okay. Looks good. So now back to this test. So we expect the defined height charts wrapper.text.trim to have string. Why?
I think that's enough already. And then I would remove line 30 exactly. That's it. Great test.
And then we can go back to the here. And then run the test.
Nice. Awesome.
Passed.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can make absolutely sure that it's actually testing the right thing by making a deliberate typo in the test string in your.
Right. That's a good idea. Double check. That's really paying attention.
Now you expect it to fail.
It failed. Nice. So I think I guess what maybe the test wasn't working earlier when I was trying, because when I set up the acceptance test, I set it up with acceptance test demography instead of visualize demography. And then I tried changing this, expect the current URL to equal visualize demography, change it all the, the test manually. But I don't know.
Yeah, visit is a method, and it expects the URL, the route that you're trying to access in your browser. And this method will then run, and then you have this return and then, which waits until the page is loaded. And then it runs this expectation. So it says expect something to have string population pyramid. And this something is the result of the method find high charts wrapper. High charts wrapper is a class of some element in the page. It will return a node. It will then run .text. This will return the text content of that node. It will then run trim, which I think is absolutely unnecessary if you search for a substring. You could remove .trim. I'm pretty sure the test will pass. Trim removes a white space at the beginning, at the end. If you search for a substring somewhere in the text, it doesn't make any sense to run .trim. And now you deleted one parenthesis, two parentheses instead of one, exactly, because that
and
this expect thing. That's one thing, right? It belongs together.
But also as well, like this actually this is not an accurate test. Like it says it's testing to see if it has a chart, and it's actually testing to see if it has a string called population pyramid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to.
Well, this is very generic. Yeah.
I mean, it's not testing to see if the title is population, but
yeah,
it's just testing to see if it has the text, right?
Maybe just say it has a population pyramid. This is kind of weak because you're just testing there's a title somewhere, but honestly, I wouldn't test.
There's got to be a way to be a little bit more specific and test for a specific, for example, if I come here and look at what is this? This is a T-span. All right, it's a text. Yeah, I was gonna say search for a H1 component or something. This is, and then I wouldn't even say a header or something.
I wouldn't even do it. You should think about what you want to test. Like, what is valuable for a test? Like, what do you want to be put in a safe place? And this test you just wrote is testing implementation, which comes from the high charts plugin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't question this because it's not our responsibility to test this plugin.
Yeah.
However, for educational purposes, this was a great test.
Yeah.
Because you learned how to write acceptance tests.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I would suggest to write a test for is indeed to click on this chart and then trigger a response, sorry, a request to the backend.
Yeah. All right.
Check how that looks like. For example, you have this acceptance test, update location. I think this is kind of, it's a nice acceptance test. Update location, just the one above demography. Yeah, there you go. No, that's the translation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of things are happening here. This is testing that if you go to the map and if you're logged in, and if you click on the map, then there will be a request made to the backend with the coordinates, the geographical coordinates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so in order to do so, you first have to log in to mock the session, pretend you are logged in. Then you need some GeoJSON having the geometry data that will be placed on this map of Germany, like the polygons of certain areas, right? This is what you see there.
Yeah.
Actually, this was copy-pasted from a website. I think this polygon is just a rectangle, and that's it. But it's enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that is responded to the front end as soon as the page loads. And then you click on what is, okay, it asks, so first you check what's happening if you're not logged in. It will ask you to log in. So if you click on the map and you're not logged in, it will ask you to do so.
Yeah,
but
context.
The interesting part is if you're logged in and you have no location and you click on the map. So the user has no location, it has latitude and longitude is null. And then you say, okay, visit visualize geo, and then there you go. It's another test case. It can add a new location. You visit visualize geo, you click on the class update location hint button, and then you click on path the leaflet interactive, and that suddenly the user has a location.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see. In this case, this demography, they're gonna need to have an account, right? This is for you.
The data visualizations are you can visit them and view them without logging in. If you want to save your location, obviously you need a user account. But in this time, well, actually, actually, yes, you're right, because you want to save the age group and your gender with you. So, in the end, you should be authenticated. But for now, I would say just don't check that. Just check if there's something going out to the backend.
Okay, so
you can put the authentication later on, or you can write the necessary code to have the authentication later on.
So this test I'm gonna get rid of then.
You just leave it like that. You can still removing code is actually very easy. So leave it like that. Write more acceptance tests. You could write an acceptance test. It sends the age group and gender to the backend on click or something. You could wrap it like you can say describe click population pyramid, and then a test case sends gender and age group data. Yeah. Click. No, population pyramid. Yeah, small typo, but that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Population. Oh, Up here is now. And I need to put do here, or no? Here it's
No,
function.
that's Ruby. If you put do there, that would be Ruby, but this is JavaScript. So you, as you do with the it, you just write after the string, comma, not there.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, comma, function.
Then
No. No. Almost. There's one missing parenthesis. Yeah. And you can put the it, sense, gender, and age group in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
All right. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would visit the site and then click on my charts wrapper maybe, or maybe you can click on one of those rectangles.
Yeah, I was gonna see what this.
Check one of those.
High charts point.
Wow. No? Yeah, so this is kind of difficult because you could check the high charts documentation if there's any way how you can add more information to it. Like if you can give it class, a custom class, and encode the information of your age and gender in the class, for example. For now, you can just click on one of those rectangles. I mean, it will always be the same.
So high charts point, and then we
high charts point. Yeah, there are many high chart points, although.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that just to test that clicking on one of the high charts points will trigger a reaction.
Yeah, exactly. You have to click on one of those points or one of those rects, and that's it.
Yeah. But you can check by clicking on an RECT, this rect.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a class then. That would be.
Yeah, rect. And then dot high charts point or something.
High charts point. Does this need to be in quotes? Not. Click on that.
Okay. Now.
So then.
I hope it works that you can just click on the first visible rect. And then you expect a certain request to the backend. And now you can make use of Embedded Factory Guy. Embedded Factory Guy is a plugin that helps you to create models in your local storage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ember comes with a database, a local database, and it's constantly synchronizes the local database with the backend. And Embedded Factory Guy will create mock records in this database. And you can also
it's like Factory Girl for Rails, right?
Factory Bot nowadays. And you can also, what you cannot do with Factory Girl, but what you can do with Embedded Factory Guy is to check the outgoing requests.
You have Factory Bot.
This is Factory Bot.
Factory Guy. So I need to import.
Yeah, I would
Something
check one of those acceptance tests, how that looks like. For example, yeah, like preferred language could be one thing. Because it's probably checking the request made to the backend when you change your language.
So mock
apparently,
query, mock update, and build.
yeah. So when you change your language, the backend will save your preference. So the next time when you log in, the language is automatically changed.
Okay, so let's see what describe change the language. Here we go. It changes the language function. Visit that and then expect to find the text in English. Okay. Click on language. Expect to have string. Context logged in. Session. Describe change language. Yeah. So when you're logged in, then it'll save, right?
Yeah, saves user locale to the backend. That's the thing.
All right. So click on that. Expect the user update mock times called to equal 1. So we have to give this constant user. Yeah, but this is something then they have to be logged in, no?
Yeah. Why is there a space in user update mock space times called? Anyhow.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, okay, but this is how you can do it. And now check where your update mock comes from.
Well, yeah, it comes from the constant here. That's what I say, mock update. So then I need to.
Yeah, so you have to check up the documentation for Embedded Data Factory guy. As far as I can tell, this is a mock, and it mocks up a user. And this time it will mock an update. So there is a user, and you want to edit the data. And it has also some params where you can see that there's actually, for example, an age and gender sent to the backend.
Yeah. All right. I can have a look at the. Yeah, because I need to import this mock update and then read about the documentation.
Yeah, this match thing will only catch the request when the params match. And this is what you want. You could 20 to 30 as an array, for example, and gender character M, and it will only be called when the params match. Otherwise, the times called will be 0. Does that make sense?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
When you scroll down to user update mock dot match, you see that there is an object specified local DE. If you send an update with locale EN, that will not call this mock update. And the times call, that's what you check on line number 90, would be 0.
Yeah.
So with this knowledge in mind, that does match the locale, and it will only be called when it matches, you can see, okay, if it equals 1, then everything is 1. Does it make sense?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, to be honest. So you said we'd expect it to equal 0, right?
I mean, the test is expecting that it is called exactly once. But it not only checks that there was a request, it also checks what the request what parameters. The request parameters have been locale DE. So there is a locale, the right locale, the locale sent to the backend. Because in the test, you click on language item IDE flag. So the German flag, this is the symbol of the German flag. Then you want the locale DE sent to the backend.
Yeah. So we can, instead of putting local DE, we can put in the age group and the gender.
Right.
But we would still need to have a user though. That's the thing. So
yeah, that's no problem. You can see how that works.
I mean, it depends if the feature is meant just for just to be updated by users or not. But if it is, then
I'm pretty sure, because where should it be stored if you're not logged in? There needs to be a place where you can store your age group or gender.
Or it would have to be just everyone who visits and actually actually clicks on it. But I don't know where you would save that then. Or if you can have different types of users, you can have users that are like signed up and users who are just visitors.
Visitors, yeah.
But so this is before the visit. All right. So I'm gonna put this here. And so that's fine. This mock update I need to import. And this I need to change. Oh, but this doesn't have a default.
Just do gender and then M for male. Man, this cough is really annoying.
Yeah, it sounds annoying. Right, so then up here I need to import this from where? Import from the Ember factory guy.
Yep.
Bring anything else from factory guy.
You will lead build.
Okay.
Yeah, build.
They're going to need to build the user. No?
Exactly. Line 15.
Sorry?
Line number 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Say let user, because otherwise it will raise an error. Yeah. Yeah.
And I build the user. Then I have mock update. Mock update.
And now you want to check whether user update mock has been called one time. I think this is it.
Right.
This is all you want.
So this should still be up, no? Oh. Yeah, doesn't like something. Visualize demography. 48. You have one too many. So where's this? This is closing that. That. That's closing that and that. So
I think there are too many of them.
Yeah, this is.
now. Can you show it to me again?
Yeah. This one.
No. It was correct.
Okay.
Just the indentation was a bit broken. The 44 needs to be indented once, yeah, like that. But where's the or maybe line number 34 is the indentation is not correct. 34. Yeah, I think it should be, but just do it like that.
But if there's an
there's
extra
one missing.
This is for the it. This is for describe, and there's nothing for extend. No. As a population, yeah, describe. This has. It has. And
missing.
Return. Return has.
There's one missing that surrounds the entire file.
Oh, yeah. Where does it come from, though? Here from this describe, no?
Yeah, line
number 7. Okay. Yes. Go, build successful. Oh, failed. Click on population pyramid slice, sends gender. Oh, why did it fail?
1. Expected 0 to equal 1.
Expected 0 to equal 1, yeah.
Nice. So the test case is fine. What you need is the implementation.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to fail because when you click on it, nothing happens.
So I would even steal from the rest of the code for now. Check how the location update works. I think there's a component that does it. Like somewhere in front-end app components, you will find some code that runs that that updates the current user and sends that back to the backend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Our user mock returns JSON user.
No. I say that the test case, you just wrote an excellent test case. You reach the point where you have just the right assertion. Like the test is failing, and that's what you want right now. You want and you expected something to be that, and it didn't so far. You wanted to reach the line where you have the expectation. So the side, you click on something, and then you have the expectation. That's exactly what you want. Now, what you need is how to actually implement it. And I would just mock it. I would check how is it working for the update location.
The preferred language.
And just mock it in the component that is responsible for the or preferred language, same thing. So either update location or preferred language, both of them send a request to the backend. You're right.
Preferred language only has a test though.
Yeah, but there's more. I'm pretty sure there is. Look, language. Just put it in language.
Oh yeah.
Language chooser. I think it's
language
called language
chooser.
Yeah.
So this is part of a component.
All right. So this if this get session is authenticated, this gets store query record user, and then get the user
sets the locale,
and then save.
Yeah. So I need to create a component. Generate a component.
No, I wouldn't so. I wouldn't say so, because you can just mock it for now. You could just pass a click event to the entire thing. Doesn't matter where you click on, and that will first, for now, send a request to the backend. I mean, it's stupid, but I mean that would work for now, because it just does something. It sends a request. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could,
but isn't that
just
what we already?
To the,
isn't that what we already did? Is that with this user update mock?
No. What you did is that you have a test case that expected that it behaves like that, but you don't have the implementation. It just clicks on it and nothing that's sending the request, because it's not there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like to send the request to the back end, we don't need a component to do that. Like, where are we building that implementation?
It makes sense to have a component, but to keep things simple, I wouldn't create a component now.
Just test to see if it's actually sending something, sending a request.
Yeah, the acceptance test doesn't test the component. It tests the entire application.
Yeah,
it's like it's further up in the testing pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many things that are on the test. There are things on the test like the code. There are things on it like the communication with the backend. There's things on the test like the CSS. Like there's some classes that I can click on. So yeah, many things.
Mm-hmm.
This acceptance test is rather at the very top. Not in the testing pyramid for us, at the very, very top, there's full stack test because it tests like everything. But just below that is the acceptance test on the Amber side.
Yeah. So for right now, we just want to test to see if it's clicking on anywhere on the anywhere on this chart, is this rect high charts point. It's going to send a request to the backend.
Yeah, I would say that's just legitimate for now.
So we don't want to be testing components then. So what else do you have for language chooser? Features.
Language chooser and put that in the controller, for example.
The controller language.
Last time when we had the pairing, you created a controller, the controller for this high charts thing, the population pyramid.
Yeah.
And then the controller gets some requests back.
There we go. But we want to test demography test.
Yeah. And you can.
That's the.
You can.
Demography test.
No. Don't open the test. Open the actual controller.
Okay. Let me get rid of this. This. That's demography controllers.
Route and controllers have a special property. This property is called actions.
Yep.
And you can define a couple of methods in this action property. I would suggest you now to copy the code from language chooser and create an action in the controller with that very code.
So from the language, but there's lots of different language choosers, right? From the component language choosers.
Yeah, that one looks great. I mean, line number 13 to line number 17 looks awesome. Or line number 18. I mean, it checks whether you're authenticated. Is there a user? Then it checks for a user, which will be just me. And then I take the user and then a something. And this is the only thing you have to change. You would set gender and
gender to
and that's it. And then it saves. And the save method will trigger the request. So right here, all you have to do is to create a method, something like update, how you call it, update gender.
A method. So method update gender, and then here open that, and then if this authenticates them, then it grabs from the query record user, waits for the user, and then once the user's there, it sets the gender, male,
awesome,
female,
or female,
whatever, and saves the user. All right, and then here, that's closing that. That's closing that. That's closing that.
It looks awesome. It looks awesome. The only thing that's missing is this update gender thing needs to be in a property, actions : curly braces, and then update gender.
Property.
Yeah. No. The name is called actions, and everything that ends with a colon is a property. So actions.colon makes it a property. And colon. And now you say curly braces between the colon and update gender.
Okay.
And one closing curly braces on line number 22. And remove the dot on line 14. And make one white space. Or two, maybe. No, not at this place. Behind the colon.
Like this. Because I'm assigning it like I did with categories.
Yeah, maybe put it in a break after the curly brace. After the curly brace.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. And now, because I think there's a convention in Ember to put the actions property at the very end, I would cut line number 14 to line number 23 and put it just at the very end of this whole file. But not at the very, very end, between line number 70 and line number, yeah, just like that. Exactly. I think this is it.
Right. So then
nothing will happen for now. I will tell you how to make use of this new action thing.
So it's on click, it's going to update. It's going to call this method.
Not yet.
This action.
You didn't define the on click thing. You just defined the method. You just copy pasted it basically. But let's see if there are any syntax errors or if it breaks. Can you show me the demography in the browser after you saved the file? Everything looks okay? Good. Now you have to glue the action together with the template because you want to run this action on a specific event that it will be a click on this component. And there's a way to do it. You open the template exactly of visualize demography. And actually, to make, you could actually that would work. That would even work. I think that would even work. But you have to say you don't just pass in update gender, you have to write it like parenthesis action and then update gender as string. Okay. Exactly there. That and then action. Yeah. So this is like accessing from the actions property of the controller in this case an action update gender, and you have to close the parentheses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for some reason, I can't tell you why I'm using single quotes in templates for that. I don't know. I had to look it up. Maybe there was a reason why I'm using single quotes. I just can't remember.
Yeah, you got in the habit for a reason, probably. Yeah, because here is all single quotes. Oh, something I didn't like.
There's error.
Yeah,
now let's check what's the error.
Actions.
Oh, yeah, of course. Actions. Yeah, run the. I think I know the error, but just double check by checking the console in your browser, because that will tell you nice error messages.
Insertion failed. Actions must be provided at extend time, not at create time.
Interesting. Yeah, I think actions. There is simply no property called actions for the component of dynamic high charts. The name of the component you're editing in the template is called dynamic high charts, and it just doesn't have this kind of property, which is called actions. It's just there. No. The last file. It's in the template.
Yeah, I know. I was
just wanted to
because you're referring to when you call. Let's get rid of some of these windows. Here. Yeah, when you refer to this dynamic high charts, it's calling one of these
components. Exactly. Yeah. Just to keep it simple, stupid, what I would suggest is to put on line number 3 a button, and then put the action there. Yeah, just like that. And check how that actually works. There's a special syntax for that.
Okay.
Remove it from line number 2 and check the Ember guides how the right syntax is. I'm pretty sure this is not the right syntax. Line number 3 now. Just type in Google Ember guides button event handler, and you find it immediately. And one more thing, you're viewing the Ember guides at version 2.14. I always click on the button at the right corner, C 3.0, which is the very recent.
Yeah, I was going through 3.0 earlier today, but then when I was checking the when I was checking on the difference between the testing, I noticed that in the GitHub you said 2.14, so I was just checking to see if there's some syntax differences.
This is how it works with the component, and there's an easier syntax as far as I know.
I think you just said it's action instead of actions.
For buttons, there's an even simpler syntax.
Button on click.
Like that. No. Below. Button action sign up. That's it. So just a space, and then a curly braces around. So the equal sign is always for assignments, like you want to pass some property down to the component. And this, what you do right here, is actually a call to a method because it has a space.
Yeah.
That looks fine. And yeah, give it a little maybe so you have something to click on. like update location.
Class. So it said,
A class.
give it a class. Location of
the gender. Yes, actually at the gender. Yeah, and then no, you can use. We are using a CSS framework, semantic UI. If you write primary button, that's enough. Primary space button. Semantic CSS is subject that applies CSS depending on a combination of classes. So primary button, those two together, they have special CSS rules.
yeah. Yeah, it's similar to Bootstrap with button primary, right?
I don't know why it's not a blue, because primary buttons ought to be blue, but I don't know. Anyhow, now check if there was a network request. If you click on update gender. Nothing. Is there an error in the console?
Error in the no. I checked that first. No errors.
Huh. And that's all right.
Primary button.
But
here's the button, but where's the action? Oh, there you go.
There's nothing.
No. So where's the? No, let's use a test. This one I'm using. This one I'm not.
Can you show me the code from the controller and the template again? That looks okay.
Action, update gender.
And the controller.
Controller is here, no? Actions,
update gender. That looks fine as well. Can you scroll up a little bit more?
Is it because of this, if the session is authenticated?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you didn't log in. Of course. It doesn't do anything because you didn't log in.
Yeah. I'm clicking on it, but it's asking if I'm authenticated, but I'm not a user. Like if I pass this into a test and signed in the user, like mock, yeah, you know, then it would work, right?
Yeah. By the way, you can log in without worries. If you use your Google Mail or Facebook or whatever, you will create a new user, but this will be in a dedicated development instance of Auth0 or identity service.
Oops.
Interesting.
I think wrong.
Is your backend up and running?
I'm logged in now. Because it says
you are
log
logged
out.
in, but you don't have the backend running, right?
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. You don't need it. You don't need it. But you had this message. Something went wrong. That's because the request to the backend failed. There's no backend. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And now
the adapter operation was departed.
So, and see what failed. Like, can you click on it? Yeah, authentication. Scroll down a little bit more. This is authentication callback. This is not what you want.
The adapter operation was aborted.
This is it?
Yeah. I don't know about up here. Deprecation.
No, don't worry about deprecation. Maybe you did the backend. Maybe this is the reason why you don't have a user.
So I'm gonna CD there, and then go to the back end, and then I'm going to server. I need to start Sidekick as well.
You can say bin/Rails server. Or like that. I don't know. It definitely doesn't hurt to run Sidekick. For this, I don't think you actually need it. Yeah, I think you have to log in and log out again, because when you log in, the user will be created if there was no user. And this is the first time you kind of registered. And when you log in, then the user will be created in the backend, in the database. The adapter operation was aborted. Why? Can you show me the terminal log?
Yeah. For the backend or
the backend looks okay.
Yeah.
Why was the adapter operation aborted? I don't know. Anyhow, okay. fewer error messages. Now you're logged in. Are you logged in? No, you're not. You're not logged in.
Yeah. Thanks for logging in.
Yeah, and now the button says log out, which means you are logged in. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now you click on update gender, and then there will be a failing request to the backend.
Okay.
Or no, maybe not.
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Maybe there was no failing. At least there was a request after all. Click on the update gender button again. No request.
No request. Wow. And I'm still logged in.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
where's the code? Oh, look at the code. So if this.get session is authenticated.
There are two ways to debug this code now. Either you say somewhere in line, for example, between line 73 and side 11 or 74, you can say console log and then write something like hello. Or you can also become a more advanced debugger and go to the and put in a breakpoint or something. It depends.
Yeah, I was using.
For now, you can.
What I did earlier, I don't know. I added this here because it's the only way I've done before. But then it kind of causes problems if I'm gonna. But I just put this gem file, this gem pry.
What I mean JavaScript debugging. Pry is for Ruby debugging purposes, but you can also debug JavaScript. And you can do so if you go into yours in your browser.
Yep.
And then you can say, I don't know where it is in Firefox, but yeah. And is there more than that?
Here.
What is 7020? Can you open localhost 7020? Oh, yeah, you found it immediately.
Yeah. So then I would put
yeah, a breakpoint just there. You can click on the line number. How did you find it so easily?
I think it knew that I was looking for it. So,
and if you reload the page now, you can, and click on the button, you should get to the debugger. No.
No, I didn't get to the debugger, so
it has there's the full assets, but it also has the folder with all your client code somewhere in one of those things. Maybe it's there. Maybe
there we go.
Are you? It is. Okay. For reasons I don't understand. But now you can say you can expect example. So it's good that we actually reach this point, because here you can now say this get session is authenticated, like true. I don't know where you can put it in, but maybe somewhere on the right, or you can you can send somewhere you can send parts of this the local variable to the console. Know how to do it, but there's copy function and watch express, whatever. So on the right side, you see your local variables, which would be enough if there would be a local variable. We want to run this get session is authenticated, for example, somehow.
Okay.
Is there any way how you, an input field or something where you can run it?
There is down here, yeah.
But is it in this scope? Like, what is this right now?
Yeah. Let's see.
No, you would have to put.
Is not defined. So no.
Yes, you have to say this dot get, and then the string session is authenticated. But what is this? Like, is this in the debugger right now?
This is an object.
Okay. It's current URL. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, the session is authenticated. Should do it.
Let's see. Hold on. I just. Scam warning. This could allow attackers to steal your identity. Unexpected token identifier.
There is no identifier. Huh? But it may do it again.
Get.
Can you just paste it in? But that doesn't necessarily mean something, because it could also be because this is not currently in the debugger, right? Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It's just because the console below does have no relation with the debugger. What you can do in order to check whether this session is authenticated is just to click on step over, and then it should run from, should end in line number 68 if session is indeed authenticated.
Yeah,
one of those errors is step in, and that's it. Yeah, and you just.
I stepped over.
That was it. It stepped over.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay, I know what's the problem. Session is indeed undefined because every object in everything in Ember, if you want to access a service, and session is one of those services. We have several services like internationalization service. We have the session service for authentication. Whenever you do this, you have to declare that you need this service. And line number 2 is an example how to inject this service Yeah, it's just you have it on line number 2 already. No. But you put it on line number 7. You can say, I forgot the things, but I think you pass it. You have a property Intel, and then service, and that's it. I think you can say Intel colon service as a function call. Yeah, this is the name of the property. So when you say this get Intel, what am I telling you? We're not talking about the internationalization. We're talking about the session. It has to be called session. Sorry for that. I'm confused. You will find it in the Ember guides. So
yeah,
adding a service to an object is like using the computer using a property like Intel or session in our case, and then you just say service, and the name of the property will create it. There's a relation with the. Oh, I'm having troubles to explain it to you. Can you just Google for Ember Guides session? Oh man, I'm confused right now. Ember Guides service. Sorry for that.
Yeah, is it this here?
Yeah, this is how you get
session service from Ember simple auth /services /session.
No, this is probably specific, and I think this is also outdated. But the relevant part, yeah, application concert services, yeah, and check out the version of these. Yeah, there's also a button on the top right. Anyhow, and yeah,
import service.
Yeah, this is how I want it to be. So line number 2 just imports the service, imports inject as a renamed or alias to service, which is a method. So you can call service now, and will be the name of the property unless you pass in the name to method service. It's just all right. Go back to the browser window, please.
It's here?
Yeah. No? Scroll down. Accessing service, that's it. So relevant here is line number 6 and line number 2. We have line number 2 already.
Yeah.
But we don't have line number 6.
Okay.
In the first example, it derives the name of the service by the name of the property.
Yeah, so
which is all we need. Session colon service, that's it. Yeah, you don't even have to put in service because it will automate. That was what I wanted to explain until I failed. You don't even have to put in this name of the service. If you want to rename it inside the container, but then you would have to put in the actual name of the service. You can call it Matthew, and then you would have to pass in the actual name of the service. That would be session.
Yeah.
But if you don't pass in the name, you'll just take the name of the session in this case.
Okay. So in this case, they're calling it card.
Yeah, but the service is named shop.
Yeah. Okay. In this case, the service is named session.
Yes. All you need is parentheses and a comma. Yeah, so now service refers to inject from line number 2 because it was renamed as service.
Yeah.
And this comes from the package @ember/service.
Yeah.
Function.
And that allows us to use this session that is authenticated.
And then it gets session is authenticated will not be undefined. It will be true or false.
Nothing in the console. Here to the network. And it doesn't seem like I made a request. Only 2 requests. Oh, 4 requests. Look at that. Hey.
Nice.
Oh, man. So then if I look at this, successful. Yeah.
Now, in order to make the test pass, we take another shortcut. You could just remove the class from the test file now. Instead of clicking on rec.highChartsPoint, you could even click on button, because there's just one. I think there's just one button, right?
Yeah.
The other is a link.
Yeah, there's that visualization overview.
Button, but I think that's a link. Can you inspect it?
Yeah, it's a link.
Yeah, that's.
But it has the class
the only button is.
But it has a class of button.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You can. The tag is anchor. It's a link.
Okay. Yeah, but the way I wrote it here was click on class button, but it can't be class button. It needs to be just button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on the
and
button.
Now the test should pass. But are you authenticated in the test?
No.
Did we have the authentication in the test already? We didn't.
No, we built the user just, yeah.
We didn't authenticate. Yeah, now you have to steal code from the preferred language test again. There's a method how to sign you in the test. Yeah, authenticate session, line number 6. And where is it used? There you go. Okay, so this is because you use the context logged in. If you use context every time you authenticate a user with ID number 1 or ID token, is it actually the ID? I have no idea, but you have to just pass in something with ID token. I don't think the 1 actually matters, but ID token matters, I'm pretty sure.
So you're
You can just copy the entire thing.
Yeah, so before each, right? Actually, even just this context
logged in.
You can
just copy it. Yeah, so before each runs in, before every test case in the context logged in. And you can just copy the entire thing, put it before your test case, and remember to close the context as well.
Yeah.
So
here,
somewhere down there, you have to put in one more brace, parenthesis, and semicolon. That's it.
And then so, but this application, we don't have anything here called application, do we?
True.
Well, actually, we do.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, that application. And the application, yeah, start up the app. Okay.
How about the test? Is it passing?
Let's see. 0 passes, 0 failures.
Weird.
Just 7357 again. Context is not defined. Yeah, sure, because it comes from it at the very top of the file. You have to port it in line number 2. No, in line number 1. Sorry.
Sorry, what?
Line number 1. This is describe it before each, after each. This is Mocha, and you have to import context there. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Pretender intercepted, but no handler was defined for this type of request.
Okay, there's going on. Yeah, so it means, okay, there was a request going out, and it didn't know what to do with it, probably because the update mock thingy didn't match. Yeah, yes. It's because you in the test case you have gender male, while in the controller you say gender female.
I was wondering if that was going to cause a problem. No. Same.
Oh. If you just remove the match thing. Altogether. It's a GET request, right? It's not a put or a post request. So there's no query user mock. We have to create that one as well. I think there was one in the preferred language test, because first gets the current user with all the metadata, and then sets the language or the locale, or in our case the gender, and then runs the update request. So there is a mock, not this one. This is the update, but there's a query mock as well. Yes, I think it's user mock. User mock is the query mock here. It returns the JSON.
Mock query record.
So mock query record means it will return something when you say query something, and here you can say what it should return. Like it returns the user. This is how you do it. So you can between 44, 45, and you have to define it or import it first.
Yeah. That. And then here, user mock. Take that.
So user mock, this import thing is you're importing methods from
mock query record
plugin Ember Data Factory guy.
Yeah.
Those are dedicated methods with a special name, like mock update or mock query. And user mock is just the name of a local variable.
Yeah, I got it.
Exactly. Where you call it user mock.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. I don't think you even have to give it a name. You can just remove the assignment. I mean, mock query record will just, yeah, right. You can just leave it like that. Remove user mock and just say mock query record when, yeah.
So any query
so
to
we have
user
one-
will return. There you go. Congratulations.
Nice.
And now you can put
so it's gonna this mock query record is provided by this factory guy, which is takes in as an argument the user that we created, we built here, and returns the JSON the user. So why this is necessary for what? Sorry.
If you open up the controller again, then you see on line number 77, query record. Query record means it's like find record, but it's not expecting. You can query a record without its ID. Have you seen? Do you remember the Ember guides with Ember data?
Do I remember the Ember what?
Ember data.
Yep.
It has some default methods like find record or find all, right?
Yep.
So for find record, you need to pass in an ID. And I want it to have an ID because if you're authenticated, you have access to exactly one user, your user.
Yeah.
So there's no ID. You don't have to know the ID. You just say, give me my user profile, and then you will get it. And in order to do so, you can say query record, and you can pass in as a second parameter an options hash. This options hash here is empty. So you will get what you get from /user. So if you send a request to the backend at /user, you could just get your user profile.
Yeah.
And then Ember data will store it in your local database in your browser. And you have access to user, which is the result of the promise. And then you can set it, you can give it some parameters. In our case, you set gender, F, and then save it.
This only works because you have somewhere gender as an option for them to be able to set for themselves, right?
To be honest, we don't have that. And I just had the same idea coming in my mind. Why does it actually work? Because in our models, there is no property of gender. There is a model defined in the front end that has something like a locale, an ID. So if you go to frontend /app /models, you will find a user model /models. And the user has an email, a latitude, longitude, country codes, cities, postal code, and so on. But it doesn't have a gender yet.
No gender. Yeah.
So I'm asking myself, why does it even work? It shouldn't.
Well, because the thing is, we're just testing to see if it sends a request to the backend. We're not seeing if the backend responds to the request, right?
Yeah. This behavior means, however, that if you send arbitrary properties on a model, those properties will also be sent to the backend. No, it doesn't.
But the backend can respond.
No,
with,
it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling bullshit. You're not checking the properties. You're just checking whether the update was
attempted.
Was triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was attempted. So if you now on line number 45 say after mock update user match. No. On line number 45, at the very end, if you say now dot match, and then you give the options gender, male. No. With the braces, the object, the JavaScript object, with the property gender value male.
Like
we had before. Or female, because you mocked it with female in the controller. email. Mm-hmm. Now this will fail.
No.
Why does it not fail? And what if you remove the F with an M? Does it fail now? It should fail. Now it should definitely fail. It doesn't fail. Huh? What? I don't know why. I don't know why this works. It shouldn't. It should fail because you're expecting that it matches the gender M.
Yeah. Which we can see from our file. There's no.
Can you show me the code once more?
Which page?
Yeah, just that. It's it's all right. Can you Google the API for Embedded Factory Guy? This guy, by the way, he's very, very fast in his risk size. I opened 2 issues once and had a nice conversation with him via GitHub issues.
Oh yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. He's a very dedicated maintainer. So somewhere in this README, there are the APIs for mock update. You can search for it via Control F and just say mock update. Mock update.
Okay.
There you go. This is it. Now see what they have for as examples.
HTTP get put update.
So yeah, mock create. In this case, it says match fails, and it has also match takes a hash with attributes or a matching function. Yeah, I would say that looks right. Yeah, I would say it looks all right.
Yeah. Mock update returns.
This is, we don't want returns. We want to make it more specific. Like there,
match.
Let mock update profile match name.
Yeah.
Woo. And if it says profile safe, will not be mocked since the mock you says the name must be woo or moo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this here mock update user.match gender M, and there's no gender to match.
And you saved the file, right?
Yep.
And the gender was F in the controller, was it? It wasn't M, it was F.
Yeah. Demography F.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. It's yeah. And this shouldn't work either, because user.setGender should throw an error because there's no key gender.
Yeah, but I think you can set pretty much everything you want. But at least it should not send this arbitrary property to the backend then. I mean, what you can do is add a gender here and see what happens. Maybe Ember Data Factory Guy works only if the model actually has a property with that name, and otherwise it doesn't do anything. If you just copy that locale and say gender and encode the gender as a string, which is okay. No, you can say ds as it does on line number 6. So
yeah.
ds is data something. I don't know what data ds stands for, but you can just say string and then a comma. And now your model has a gender. Maybe this is the reason why. Maybe if you check the test.
Now it failed.
Now it failed. And if you change the M to the F, like this is the right parameter, so to say. And if it passes now, it's because this is the behavior of Ember Data Factory Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, there we go. Right. Good. So Ember Data Factory Guy only checks for matching parameters if those matching parameters in the model, and otherwise it doesn't do anything. It has arbitrary behavior.
It seems like you should be able to customize that, you know, so you can say that if it doesn't exist, the parameters doesn't exist, to send back an error, you know. But I don't know. They did have on the documentation. They had a place where it said something about errors, didn't they?
I don't know. This is Ember Data Factory Guy, and you can check the README if it has this case that you match a property that doesn't exist on the model. And if you want, you can open an issue at Data Factory Guy explaining the behavior you would actually expect. Something like, at least it should not pass, right? You said user update mock and then match, and then you give it, then you pass in a hash with attributes that don't exist on the model. It just passes, right? At least it should fail.
Yeah. And then tell you this, you know, this criteria or this param doesn't exist.
Yeah, the luxury solution would be it would spit out an error message, and it is good with error message. Okay, I would say that's it for now, or for today.
Okay, so it's getting late there, huh?
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
But what you can do, I mean, you set up a working acceptance test now. It's working perfectly. What you can do now is to somehow get this click event in this high chart thing. And I have no idea how you can do that. Like, is there any way to tell high charts, I want to have a click handler on rectangles, on those bars?
Yeah.
You can check, you can do some research on high charts, if it's possible after all. And if so, how you can put in this.
I was looking today actually at their documentation, and there's some charts that they have. There's actually a param that you can put there, and that it makes it interactive, you know, so that when you click on when a user clicks on it, it actually changes the width or does something like that, you know. But I think we would be able to instead of changing the width, just send a request to the backend to update the.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the next step, not to have this button,
But to send this request, as when you click on one of those rectangles on those bars, you would have to pass the action somehow into the component, into the high charts component.
Yeah.
And from within the high charts component, you would have to listen, or maybe you change the option somehow that you put into high charts. I have no idea.
Update options after render, you know, for example. This would be a little bit different, right? But no, it wasn't here that I saw. It was here, responsive chart. So you can see if I click on Christmas Eve, it disappears. Like you know, and it's interactive, you know. So then if you come here, they have here responsive. So they have this responsive rule, you know, and then you can put the rules.
Yeah.
And then they have here, like, when you click on the ID small, then run this function. Yeah.
They use jQuery. You can see it at the dollar sign.
Yeah.
I would discourage to use jQuery in Ember. But what's more interesting to see here is that they have an ID, hashtag small, somewhere.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? The two buttons below.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
so this
I'll have a play.
We want to have something inside the high charts thing.
Something inside here, but this, yeah, same thing. High charts, high charts background, high charts plot.
Okay, this is a little bit tricky, I have to admit, because there are many ways how you can achieve the desired result. It has events. There's events. You have events click. And I mean, what you want now is, okay, this is the way how you could do it. So you click. I mean, you have to twist your mind now, because those options that you see here, they are defined in the controller and then passed into this component.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works like that. Like if you, in the click thing here, if you then say this get update gender look action, have you read the Ember guides already how to call past callbacks in a component or in a controller?
Yeah, I think it's in the tutorial, but I'd have to go over it again.
Yeah, it's just like if you would pass in properties. So you access properties with this get and then the string of the name of the property.
Yeah.
You can also pass in callbacks. You can, for example, have a property called click callback, let's say, and then you would say in the component this get click callback. Then you have the function in your hand, and then you just say this is in order to call that function.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll write it down in the Hangouts. That. So this get callback will give you the callback. And if you then have the parentheses at the end, this will call the callback. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? And you can use that one. Maybe you can use it in the controller, but it will be a little bit, because if you pass in those options into the component, then this get some callback will not be the controller, but the component. I don't know if it's possible after all. I mean, there will be a way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be possible. The way how I described it, that should be possible. You pass in the callback into the component, and in the options, you define the click call that will trigger the passed in callback.
Where's the here? Here. So in the plot options, you define the callback.
Yeah, there it says alert point click, for example. But here you would then say this get callback and then call it. And in order to...
But then the callback would be defined here on the click event.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So there are two click events, either one on events click and another one on the series point events click. There are two callbacks. It doesn't matter. You can use both. But there you would, instead of blah, 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 you say this get my callback. And you have to pass in a callback named my callback. And that's the tricky point, because in the template you say dynamic high charts, chart options, blah blah blah, chart data, or is it chart content? I don't know. I think it's chart content. And my callback update agenda. Oh, it's terribly formatted. Does Google Hangouts support Markdown's syntax?
I don't know, actually. I think so.
Oh.
No. It's not with the 3.
Oh yeah, both works, but oh, that doesn't work. But do you see the problem here? This is different from the controller side and from the component side. This is a long story. I mean, it's always confusing me in JavaScript. What is actually this? Because it's not an object-oriented programming language. This can be anything.
Yeah.
And from the component perspective, or from the component scope, this is the component. For the component will be defined in the controller. Probably this is a code smell. Maybe it's a code smell. It's a code smell after all to have the options for this component defined in the controller. I don't know. Maybe you should refactor
maybe we should put everything into one component, like create a component dedicated for this page.
Yeah.
And have all the options hard coded in that component then.
All the options as far as age group and genders.
Yeah, the age groups and genders. This is another story. You can make a component, but also even specific code, even those options. Maybe we can wrap them in one component. They can just put there and just use it at one particular place. I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to make it up on my mind.
So tomorrow we're still gonna have the meeting.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm okay to have the meeting. I can suggest to also introduce you a little bit into Docker. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Let's do the meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, let's see how it goes, because so we're gonna have 9 o'clock your time, right? So I'm gonna be at the library, so I'll stay there for, I don't know, maybe on Wednesdays we can have like our meeting or something like that, and then if there's anything I can go doing by myself when I get home, or because I don't know, you seem like you stay up late, but
to have this meeting at the library, or is it too noisy?
I mean, I don't know. It's at the university library. I don't know. I've never tried before, but
let's see.
Have to just try to talk quieter, not be so American, you know.
Okay, then
cool, man.
We see each other tomorrow.
Cool. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.